Boom! We're back for another Tru-Mon show. Yannick, your host. Man, a lion from yard, so no cats, no dogs. Upon the lion corner, I'm with another lioness and another lion, Jimmy and Mar. How are you today?
Great.
Good. Happy to be here in the family.
Good. We're going to talk again about that dirty Babylon. We have a lot to say, and there's a lot to me. Like I told Jimmy, the search and the quest and all that comes from looking for truth and all that comes also with the realization of where I am stuck myself, where I was stuck, and where we are all stuck as humanity, where we are having wars, having all kinds of stuff separating us. And I want to understand why we are here. Why, if I can see through the illusion, through the deception, pretty much everything, I don't say I know everything and I see everything. No, there might be stuff that I still have to see through. But anyway, I question everything. I use scrutiny and pretty much everything. So I should be on the right path to find out the truth. But anyway, it's easier to uncover the lies than to find the truth anyway at the root. But anyway, I want to understand why are we here and why this happened this way. Know what I mean? So maybe we can develop on that.
Why this is happening this way. I came back up again and again last night and this morning to the fact that as long as humanity doesn't know that we do not live on a fucked up ball, it's a small little ball, that illusion is so huge and it has taken us so far away from reality that really nothing else can even measure. We are in such a deep dark hole where we are because we have no idea who we are and why we are here and what is this reality that we're living in. Really, I'm back to that strong again.
What's our purpose? Because we all have a purpose, and that's it. Why some of us are waking up to the purpose, to the mission of life, and some aren't. So is it some of us are chosen and some are not? What is it? Like, why am I here on YouTube and the others are not? Like me, I don't feel like I'm very, very different than anybody. I'm a man. A man is just a man. So why am I here and others are not waking up? This is my question. This is something that arises in my head because I walk through this town every day, and I would tell people the stuff I know and their head would spin because they would be so on shock with the reality shift that would create in their life that they would. So why are we there? Why just some of us see it and the others don't? Why? Because it's the blind leading the blind. So why is it the blind leading the blind? Why are we there as humanity? We all can be so much more enlightened, so much further than where we are, but because of our ego and all that stuff that restrain us, all the barriers of Babylon, we never pass this, and I don't know. We're stuck, and I'm wondering why we are there, why we are so enslaved with all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. So this is my reflection that I have on the side of the river in French. So,
well, I
go
think
for it, Jimmy.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of a couple of things, at least to my way of thinking. Number one, I feel like we pull through into this lifetime a lot of knowledge from who we really are, our soul essence, spirit, whatever you want to call it. I think we have a lot of that innate knowledge that as we begin to connect with who we are, that knowledge starts to come forward and we begin to see things for what they are. The other aspect of that, in my mind, is intention. I think all of us who are investigating life and all the aspects of life, we have the intention to want to know the truth. We want to get to the bottom of everything. We want to find out how it works and why, because we see a world that is so incredibly screwed up And we see people who are so incredibly unaware, but we have the intention, and we, at some point in our lives, we set that intention that we wanted to find the truth, that we wanted to know the truth, and that we realized that we weren't getting it. So I think that intention really sets you on a path of finding it. I know it did for me. There was a point in time, I think it was around 1989 or 90, when I literally got down on my knees and said, I have to know. I want to know what's going on, because what I've been presented in my life as the truth is not the truth, and I know that. And you know, it's been a flood of, you know, information and relationships and understanding, all leading to what I had asked for. It's all been leading to the truth, at least as much as I can uncover at this point in time. And I think we're all on that path, and we realize we don't know it all. And there's so much we don't know, but we have uncovered a great deal, and we have realized that we're in a very contrived and fake environment. And there are a group of people or entities or whatever the heck they are that have steered humanity into a very dark and evil kind of existence. And, you know, we keep saying this over and over again. Why can't people understand that war is the supreme abomination of the human spirit? It is the lowest level that humanity can possibly sink to. And yet here we are nonstop. And, you know, while people cheer, oh, those brave soldiers fighting for our freedom, you know, they can't see that that is just complete bullshit, that there's a small group of people or entities out there that are using them, you know, to build empire and to build wealth and to cull the herd, you know, using war as a blood sacrifice. I mean, all these things are real and going on, but yet people can't see it. It's possible they haven't wanted to know what's really going on. Maybe in some way they just want to just kind of go through their life with the whole ignorance is bliss attitude. I don't know.
For sure, the Babylon comfort zone is very comfortable. You can very much close your eyes all your life and live a very happy life, because most people, they don't want to know more than they need to know to live a little happy life. I think that's the case of most people, until you're confronted with yourself or with some kind of situation to wake you up, or it's either something new comes from within or something new comes from without in your life. But often it's from within. So if you're not confronted to, first of all, I think you said we're unaware. I think we're unaware also of who we are. This is the first thing we are unaware. Me, I was very, very unaware of all the power I have, not the power over others, but the power of love, first of all, the power of love. And I could use it for a greater advancement than just manipulating people. I want to motivate people to really take the truth and do something with it, do something with your life. But that's it. I think we are very much unaware of who we are. And for some people, when it comes especially to look for truth, we get lost, like we said before, in all the conspiracy and all that. So I think it's very important to stay focused on who you are, first of all, to be true to yourself. And first of all, because also the truth, and why some people, it's easy to go look for conspiracy outside of yourself, to stuff outside of you, but to look at yourself in the mirror and to come out like we do, to really speak out and to slay the dragon like we do it. Like, it takes a little work on yourself, I admit, but what is it? I think it's just because we're unaware of really all the power we have inside, and just that is blocking us, is restraining us from reaching very, and it's not higher level over others, but it's always to be your better best. I don't know how to say it, but to better your best or something like that, to always to be better. Like, have so much times making yourself better that you have no time criticizing others. This is the goal here. This is the journey of life. So anyway, why some of us also, because, okay, the ball hurt was a big, big, big turning point for me in my life. This gave me so much empowerment. This was for me to find, okay, some people are going to say, yeah, I knew a long time ago we weren't living on the ball. Wake up, bro, wake up. No, for me, I didn't know. All that time, I knew about Babylon. I knew the world was dirty, that everything was dirty, that Babylon, all that stuff. Bob Marley told me about everything. So it was, but what's the, for sure there's been a turning point, which was finding out that I don't live on the ball, that all the stuff they tell me that is fake, and that it's all a bunch of lies. Like, make it simple. The world is a lie. The world is a lie. So why? And it's so easy to see once you, I don't know what I did. Maybe I opened my eyes, my heart, my mind. I don't know what the heck happened with me, but I know I'm here now. I'm here and now. And this is what, but this is also, is it because that's the point, that's the path I always trace for myself, that I ended up here? Because I'm not for no reason with you guys here today. All this doesn't happen for no reason. So is it us also creating that synchronicity in our life? You know, all the stuff that permits, like, for sure our thoughts shape our reality. I think of that more and more. Now I'm going to shut up and let's talk a bit. But yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter why some of us are this and some of us are that. The point is that we have been misguided, mistreated, and so far away from nature. We are so far away, and it goes all the way back to Rome. You know, when they were giving them a lot of wine and bread to keep them all quiet and show them all this violence. You know, like armies are and military is where we can go, but then look at all the pedophile circles all over the world. I mean, I'm learning more and more. I saw the video, I don't know if you guys saw it too, aplaintruth.org. That channel has one video on how all the presidents are pedophiles, and also the candidates of the presidency are pedophile. And then he was saying in that thing that 800,000 children a year are missing, going into the pedophile circles. I mean, talking about humanity being at its lowest level beyond war. It's always about sex and war and hallucinations and alcohol. It goes back very, very deep, and the rabbit hole is very, very deep also. And if no matter who at what level are waking up, we are waking up. It's about the presence, and we have to connect. That's why we come here and we connect together, because that's called the unified field of empowerment. It's like I'm one center, you're one center, and Jimmy is another center. The people who are listening are the other centers of this humongous circle of beingness that is awake and being awakened, and we just need to support it and nourish it. And also remember that you know, when we say, oh, is it because we are just getting to know ourselves? But even knowing ourselves, a lot of ourselves that we think we know, there is still programming. That's where I'm at in life. No matter how much spiritual work I have done, or no matter how much I still know that the ball earth was keeping me in a heavy duty illusion, there is so much programming still in my mind, and that I haven't gotten rid of. And that programming is controlling us. That's what I call Satan. And that's what I talked about in my last video. If we have to uncondition ourselves all the way inside, it's great to give ourselves credit for the 20% that we have awakened, because we are not done until we're 100% awakened on this plane. And the 100% awakenedness takes a lot of of responsibility. It takes a lot of focus. It is really a Jedi or some type of hero or avatar type of work. It takes a lot of focus, internal and external, in our wording, in our actions, everyday actions. So here we are. I'm glad to be in the unified field.
Yeah, for me, there was two aspects to really catalyze me into realizing and seeing through that big illusion. Was realizing the ball Earth with for me was Eric Dubé's video, which I give thanks for that, and also Arthur Christian. Arthur, and I was thinking about it last night. I was telling my wife, I said Arthur was so crucial for me to see through the programming of what I was under. And I give thanks to Arthur for that big time. I was going to write him a message today. I saw his last video on his channel, and I was going to write him a message to thank him for everything he has done. He has helped me to see through a lot of the veil that was put in front of me. He helped me overstood the programming that I was put under with the ABC 1, 2, 3 and all the construct that we have in our heads. And this is where I realized that, okay, yeah, there's no shape is in our head. But so all this really made me realize how much deeply we were programmed. So anybody that want to understand more into, because I went through some other truthers on YouTube. There's good people there. I think there's no bad people. I think we're just corrupt at one point. There's nobody bad. I think the goodness, we all have it inside of us, and that goodness give us the potential to manifest the greatness. But do we all manifest the greatness? That's another thing. But we all have goodness inside. That's for sure. But anyway, this is maybe not the pedophile that you named. Maybe not the evil people, the Babylonian people. But anyway.
Well, we have to see in our minds. We have to see in our minds and our hearts that the other people are waking up. And that's the only thing we should keep saying.
Yeah, mind, sight, and eyesight. Mind, sight, and eyesight, very different. So we should use a little bit more of mind sight, not just use our eyes, to sense things too. I don't know. That makes sense.
That's the inner programming. We should not go with the separation. That's the inner programming. We have to know that what we want is happening for the entire earth. We want harmony and peace, and the deletion of all the militaries and the pedophile circles and the programming and the media and the presidential fakeness and the elite and everything.
Yeah, but why?
We want that for the entire earth.
Mar and Jimi, you both live in the United States. I live in Canada here, and I see what's going on in the United States with the puppet show. It's like, what is going on? Nobody's seeing that. It's a puppet show. Hillary Clinton and the other one, what's his name? Trump. And not only that, now I see people going encouraging Trump. I'm not going to name here this afternoon, but I saw some people on Facebook going big time behind Trump. Like it's a puppet show. No matter what, they're fakers. It's not them taking the big decision. They're there just to put on a show. So why suddenly everybody, even the truthers, are getting into behind Trump because supposedly he said the earth was flat or something?
Well, I had a very huge argument with a flat earther last night.
Let's talk about that, Jimmy. I know you like that stuff.
Yeah. So shall I go for this? And then
go ahead,
I would love to see what Jimi says. But I had the biggest argument. It was really, really dirty. I didn't want to be a part of it, but this flat earther who is completely into Trump was actually talking to me as if like I was a terrorist because I was questioning the background of Trump as a pedophile master ring that has a whorehouse in Las Vegas, and the guy has no consciousness whatsoever. ever. He's into like being the white rice control, the white rice, we have to save the white rice by nationalism and everything. And it was so amazing. This person who knows about the 9/11 truth, yeah, but they know about that the earth is not a globe. They were talking to me as if like I was a peasant, I was a stupid, and I was a criminal for saying that and for not standing up for the revolution that is happening right under my nose, and I don't know what's going on because Trump is it. And even though he's kissing Israelis' ass at all levels, he was saying, no, 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 this is just an action. This is just an action he's doing to get in. It's like, oh my God, look at this. Even very, very awake people are talking like this. I don't know where. And then he told me, go back to your country where you came from. If you don't like my country, here we go. Jimmy, go for it.
It's sad because I think people are so incredibly desperate for the Messiah. It's like, remember, Mar, you made the video about that. It was really well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, people want somebody else to save them. Okay, so Trump is fulfilling that role for some people, that he's just the savior guy. It's going to come in and people say, oh, he's an outsider. Nothing could be farther from the truth. You don't get in the public spotlight unless you're part of the game. People need to understand voting is fake. Politics is theater. It's a distraction. There's a really good little video clip, it's very short, by that's been going around Facebook quite a bit, where William Cooper talks about when the peasants start getting restless in the Roman times, that's when they built the Colosseum and they brought in the lions and the Christians and anybody else to entertain the people, to distract them. So we've got a zillion times that amount of distraction now. I keep telling people we are in the Roman Empire 2.0 now. That was 1.0 back in the day. Now it's 2.0. It's the same method. It's the same kind of stuff going on. The super high level of corruption at the highest levels. It's all distraction and theater, to keep people fighting against each other, to drive a wedge between people, so that as long as we're all fighting each other and we're divided in everything that we do, and Trump versus Hillary, black versus white. I mean, in every way possible, from religion to politics to gender to you name it, we're divided in so many ways, and this is totally by design. And we are in the Roman Empire 2.0. They are trying to consolidate, and they basically already have the New World Order. It's been in place for a long time. They haven't officially announced it and made it formally known that we have this world government, but we really do. But again, my point being, with politics, is a distraction to the people. It's giving them the illusion that they may have something to do with the outcome of what's happening in the world by voting for a candidate A or candidate B, puppet A or puppet B. I mean, we saw this even recently with Obama. Obama said all this great stuff. Oh my God, he was going to end the war. He's going to give free health care to the people. What did he do? The exact opposite. He prolonged all the wars, extended all the wars. We're still there. Here's a guy who won the Nobel Peace Prize, and he's not had one day during his presidency where there was peace. There's been war every single day.
That has been the situation.
It's a total joke.
Yeah.
It's a total joke. And so this year, the evil archie decided, we need to switch up the theater a little bit. We're going to give him this guy, Bernie. And Bernie's going to go out there and he's always going to say all the right stuff. He's going to act like he's for the people. And, people are going to get behind him, and, it's going to be awesome. And so Bernie parades out there, and he's another Israeli firster. another player on the theater stage of politics. So he gets out there and, oh, everybody's feeling the burn. Oh, Bernie this and Bernie that. It's all complete bullshit and a distraction. So Bernie falls off, you know, and then we had all the WikiLeaks and stuff comes out about how they purposely did this. No, Bernie was in on it, people. Get over it. You know, he knew what the plan was from the get-go. He was playing his role. He wouldn't have been in Congress for 30 frickin' years or whatever it is if he wasn't a player. You don't get to rise to those levels unless you are serving the evilarchy in one way or another. So we have to understand that all of this political theater is a distraction to keep people from looking at things for what they are and to keep people from coming together. You know, we've got to get beyond where we are with all this distraction and division. We've got to come together for our own common good. We the people, all people, and not just in this country, but all over the world. We've got to look at this. You know, we're in the vast majority. We rule if we decide we want to. If we stop being bootlickers and just following all these insane psychopaths and pedophiles who are running the world,
Yes.
if we just decide we're not going to cooperate with any of them, we're not going to join their militaries, we're not going to be police and start beating people on their behalf and doing all these things like that, we're going to serve the people and be compassionate, loving, cooperative human beings. It's all over if that happens. But we've been stifled. Our consciousness has been dumbed down because we subscribe to the different medias that have programmed our minds.
Our will is broken also.
Our will is broken. Yeah, absolutely.
They break our will very young, and that's a key for them to break the will of man, and that's where I think that's where we all are, pretty much.
And again, I remind people, if you join the military, what's the first thing they do? They beat your free will out of you in boot camp so that you will follow any order without question. What does that tell you? That's mind control, people. That is mind control. Without mind control, you know, these people can't rule over us. There's no reason why we should allow this except for ignorance and willful allowance of programming.
Yeah, because if you're not mind control, how can you go in to invade another country and kill people? I would never do that. Me, I can never kill anybody. What is that?
Oh, no.
So just that is, you have to be, first of all, you got to go into a boot camp and really get it hard. And yeah, for sure, you got to be brainwashed a bit to go kill people overseas, then invade country and think you're doing a great thing. I don't know. Doesn't resonate with me.
Mm-hmm. And also, you know, I see the same fault in the person who goes and kills someone in another country under order, and the same person who is watching that person killing another person on CNN and cheering for it.
Yeah.
I mean, the hypnosis goes deep inside of the entire situation, and and what I was saying is, like, my argument is not just with the common people that think, oh, okay, a woman is going to come on, that would be better. You know, I'm talking to people who are seasoned political activists. They have taken 14 years fighting for the truth of 9/11, what happened, and they woke up a lot of people, and here they're falling again in the shoes, the dusty, dirty shoes of Trump. I mean, you look at the guy, he looks like a pedophile psychopath.
Of course.
The way he talks. Yet these people have gone, you know, I think the fear is this, and Jimmy, tell me if you think you've heard anything about it, or Yannick. They say that the satanic agenda has a program of wiping out the white race. And the reason that they're wiping out the white race is because most of the white race are Christians. And since the satanic powers are mostly Jew, they want to wipe out Christianity altogether. And that's why they are creating all these all these refugees, because they want to bring people of other color into the white zone. So that's why they're doing it in Europe and United States. And the reason to do that is intermingling and having sex of different colors of the people. It takes only 3 generations before there are no whites left. So some of these people, that is the truth, because other colors would take over, right?
Yeah.
So these people are scared for their race so bad that they are willing to go under any flag, even if it is a fucking psychopath, pedophile like Trump or Hillary, any of them coming on, that they're going under. They say Hillary is under global. I mean, she's for globalization, so let go with her. But let's bring Trump in because he's into nationalization and he wants to create a wall with Mexico, and he's racist, so he's going to throw out. And that's why they're also becoming racist against me, even though I've been a citizen here. They say you had no right to be a citizen here. We brought you here. This is our country.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
this is the
really? This
false
is not
pride.
the stuff.
That's it. But this is,
Exactly.
like our identity would end at one word, like I'm Canadian. I'm much more than a Canadian. Canadian, that's what you say I am. I don't care about what country. Me, there should be no frontier. We should all be, first of all, there should not be, that's some barriers we have to abolish. First of all, we have to abolish the barriers that separate us in our heads, so we have time to sit down together and talk sense. First of all, that's the first barrier, and then there's the physical barrier that we have to put down, which are the frontier in between countries. Why shouldn't I be able to travel where I want to go? Like, it's just
Exactly.
nonsense. Just nonsense. And it's crazy,
Especially,
especially United
especially,
States.
no, especially in the 21st century. We're supposed to be what? We're supposed to be more advanced than this. We're going down the drills of the darkest hell right now. Oh yeah, let's make more walls. Let's just, I mean, look, if all the people intermingled and the white race is not there anymore, then maybe that's nature. I don't know. I mean, who knows? Well, if it is an agenda, we have to save all the races. Yet, what we need to get rid of is not each other; is to get rid of the people who are controlling us and separating us.
Not, we don't even have to get rid of them. Once we take back our power, all each and every one of us, like we are attempting of doing. I think I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm taking back my power. You too. So once we do, each and every one of us take back the power, the game is over. The game is over because it's a lot. They generate those vibration, that field with vibration. It goes a lot with the vibration and satanic rituals and all over the earth, and people go missing, you said, and there's a lot of satanic rituals going on to there's Arthur describes it very well on his site, how it is done, and how the satanic inculcation, he goes through it all. But I think it's at the root of why we're stuck in there, and I think we're even cursed before we come in this world. Like, before I'm even in the womb of my mother, I think I'm under some kind of a curse on this satanic inculcation that we have on this earth. It's crazy. The evil people, the people evil. It's not a man sitting on the chair. It's the people that are evil. People are so evil. It's terrible. And that's why there's no. I don't think there's. You say entity sometimes, Jimmy. It could be like they could be mind controlled by something somewhere. I don't know. It's possible. Everything is possible. But to act like this, to provoke wars, to provoke suffering on Earth, because it's man-made. It's nobody should suffer. We have abundance and everything, but a certain amount of people is taking everything on their side and taking everything for themselves. So we are left in scarcity. So that's where we are. That's why we kill each other and all kinds of shit happen, because they are sitting there laughing, having fun. Their belly is full, but everybody is hungry, you know? So this is where I think that the mass suffering that we're under should wake us up, and it's waking us up. Because, you know, when you have pain body, you are more subject to enlightenment. So women are closer to enlightenment than men at start. I know that. I'm sure about that, because you have pain body every month. Like, and men, if we have pain body, it's once in a while. If we are sick, or if we hurt ourselves, or we don't have too much, or if we train hard or something, then we have pain body. But it's something that we will induce to ourselves. You, the pain body, you have an experience. It's every month, and it's divine. It's divine. So it's a divine pain, probably, or maybe it's been organized over, I don't know. But it's a divine pain, I'm pretty sure. So the pain body will allow you to wake up faster, to see things, because you have pain. And when you experience pain, there's something switching in your brain. So I think collectively we have experienced enough pain, enough trauma, that this is where it's bringing us. That's why we're all waking up like that and starting to see more through the illusion of Babylon, because we have suffered enough. We have suffered enough, and now we're starting to wake up. I think this is what's happening, but again, it's just my way of interpretation, of interpreting things, the way I see it from my perspective, my point of view. And this is what we should embrace, the difference of opinion, and not, we should be able to all sit at the table and talk to each other and make sense of what's going on, and tell the children the truth. You know why we keep lying to the children every day? That's another thing, politics. But well, politics goes along with the government force indoctrination camps that we have going on, which called schools. This is a real horrible horror story going on in there. Some schools are so bad because they have even religious people inside, but some others, like it's public, even that, it's really bad, the indoctrination that's going on there. The lies that are perpetrated, and the people don't even ask. You teach the same program for 30 years, but you never ask yourself if it's true. Like, I would be a teacher after 30 years, I would have asked myself, fuck, is what I'm telling the kids is true? Christopher Columbus, who the fuck is that guy? Just that, you know, just Christopher Columbus is a freaking joke. So you teach history, secondary for us here, and all your life, you never wonder, hey, is it true what they told me? No, no question at all. We act like robots to not question authority. What is going on with us? We must wake up.
Yeah, I agree. And we've been so highly programmed into not taking responsibility for our own lives, to looking outside of ourselves for all the answers, for all the solutions, for all the security, that, you know, this is what we have. We have a docile, obedient group of humans, you know, walking over the cliff, the precipice, into our own demise. And Mar, to your point, I don't think it's really a race issue. I don't think the color of the vehicle is that important, or even the DNA for that matter. I think it's the spirit that inhabits all of our biology that's important. And what we're seeing, you know, with the Middle East being torn to shreds, and then all these refugees being shipped off into Europe and the United States, this is all an agenda of creating chaos and wreaking havoc within society, within cultures. Because there is an awakening going on, and Yannick, you're correct that the worse things get, the more people are going to stop and reflect on it and begin to wake up. And they see this. They see that more and more people are waking up. The evil archy is responding by pulling out all the stops. I mean, they're literally hitting us from every possible angle to maintain the fear base that they have built up. And without a fear base, without people being constantly in fear and constantly in turmoil, constantly in conflict with themselves and with others, they can't rule over us. They realize that. So with the refugee situation, they're creating chaos, they're creating fear, they're creating division. That this is the agenda of what's going on with all of that. The constant wars, everything is a threat. You know, these are all things that drive a wedge between us as individuals in our own small groups, in our own cities, in our countries, and worldwide. We have been conditioned and programmed for so long that for most people it's hard to even imagine what it means to be free. What does that even mean? What is it? Does it you get up in the morning, you decide what you want to do, and you just do it? Well, yeah, that would be the ultimate, but we're so far away from that. But the first baby steps is to realize what a controlled system that we are in. And speaking of control systems, I've been watching some interesting YouTube videos on Saturn. Now, Saturn is very interesting because it's also known as Kronos, you know, the keeper of time and all that. There's a reason why all these Greek myths and Roman myths about Saturn are there. There's something to that. I don't claim to understand it fully, but I really think there's something to it, and something that we need to investigate. Saturn is an anagram, that's the word I was looking for earlier, for Satan.
Yeah.
Okay, and some people are of the opinion that there is no actual entity named Satan, but there is a technology known as Saturn that has put us into a state of time, whereas in you know, previous civilizations we didn't have that concept of time. Now, time is another control mechanism. You've got to be on time. You've got to be here. You've got to be there. It's a matter of putting us in a box of time constraints, and we're seeing that. And I suspect that the moon has something to do with this too, and that it's either an amplifier for some kind of frequency or programming that's coming from that, whatever that light is out there called Saturn. But there's definitely something to it. Otherwise, there wouldn't be so many references to Saturn, the rings of Saturn. We see all the symbology that has to do with Saturn. We see the rings that people wear, the hoop earrings. I mean, all these things, you know, people are tying to the symbology of Saturn. I think it's very interesting, but when we talk about reasons why people can't wake up and they can't fathom and have the consciousness to realize what a shitty environment we're in, is that there is some type of energetic programming that's really hitting us and creating an energetic barrier to waking up. So the antidote, I think, is number one, intention, and then you have to actually do something. If you want to understand what's going on, you have to want to know first, and then as you discover, you begin to know more and more. But you actually have to, you know, put the effort out there to read books, to get online and watch YouTube videos and expose yourself to a lot of material. Doesn't mean you have to believe every bit of it, but the more you expose yourself to, the bigger your field of awareness becomes, and then you can actually start seeing things for what they are, at least to the extent that we can do it right now without having the full picture. But at least to the extent that you can see how far from any kind of goodness we have gone, you know, with our societies. We are so controlled in every way. I mean, you can't do anything without getting some kind of government permission. You know, you have to get a business license to start a business. You have to do all of these things to comply with this control system. And again, the solution, the answer to our freedom is so incredibly simple. It's just stop cooperating with this. You know, if we did it on a wholesale level, if we all did it together, we said, nope, we don't want this. Yeah. We are going to shun everyone who promotes evil in this world. They can do it all they want on their own, but we're not going to serve them. We're not going to cooperate with them. The ancient art of shunning needs to be brought back so that anybody who proposes evil in the world, like all of our politicians, all of our leaders, all of the religious leaders, all of the great professors, you know, who are part of the control system, all of these people need to be shunned for the evil that they are. And people need to become moral human beings who have love in their hearts and compassion and want to help other people and want to build something that's good for everybody. Okay.
Yes,
End of
awesome.
sermon for the day.
Beautiful. I just wanted to add one thing to that also, and this is I started making a video, but it was too beyond and above the norm that I haven't published it yet. But this is something that a friend of mine in New York and I are working on. This woman has brought a lot of insights to me, and she says Satan is nothing but the program. It's only a program. It really doesn't have an outside and it's not an outside entity. So you see, when we say like, oh, humans are just bad, it's humans that are doing this, it's something within the humans, it is not the human itself, it's the program in the human that is satanic. And according
But yeah,
to
it's
this
the
way,
Satan. Yeah.
yes, and according to this insight, the program doesn't have a body. It cannot have a body. It's only a program. It's really an illusion. It comes into the human body, which is divine and completely amazingly run by, is running and functioning with superior divine intelligence. The program and uses that as food because it cannot have any other body by itself. So it has come and started using the entire human population as we hear that Satan is using us as food. It is true in that way. And the only way to uproot this program recognizing that we are all biocomputers. We are biocomputers run on the basic data of divinity. We are all good. We have to know that we are all good. So when we see politicians, when we see pedophile rings and the military people, at some level we have to feel really, really sorry for them because they're the ones that are eaten all the way up with the program. There's nothing of their humanity left in them. And that's what needs to be uprooted within all of us. Anything that says, I'm bad, oh my God, I didn't do this, and I should be doing this. Oh shit, why did I say that? You know, I mean, I'm ruining. I mean, all of that is programs. Even emotions are programs, especially the biggest program of this thing which you call entities. They are entities, but they're not real. They're programs. The biggest programming is the fear. And fear has taken all of us. I don't care how awake we are. We still have deep fear inside of all of us until we become completely one to see that, hey, fear, you have absolutely no place in me. I am not giving myself anymore, and I am the divine self within this body, rising from this body. We are all the centers of the universe, every single one of us. And Marty leads completely proves that in some of his videos, that we are the center of the universe. And it seems that the goodness or the soul actually rises and exists within these bodies. It doesn't come from outside going in. If anything comes from outside and taking a body, it's the program. And it's time to unprogram humanity.
Yeah. That's the satanic inculcation. That's what it is. I think that's what prevents us from there's something that's a satanic world. If you don't see it, like the worst is here in Quebec. It would be so easy for people to see it. There's church at every corner. There's a Catholic church on every corner. There's a Catholic name of a village, of a town, of a street, everywhere. And you go into those rich satanic ritual places. That's called church. They drink blood and they eat flesh, and they tell you It's a cannibal thing.
That's
And
right.
why we don't see that? Just that. And it's like it's all over the place and it's all over the world. They're doing those rituals. And after that, they go and point to other peoples that they have sect and this and that. But you are the one having one too. Like, it's crazy. But I think but this is where the big part of the satanic vibration takes place. It's important to have sight with where you do your rituals to generate those vibrations. Because everything is vibrational, and that's why we are, I think, a bit, we are vibrational being, for sure. So everything
Yet
vibrates.
the biggest structures and the biggest temples are each one of our bodies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
That's a temple we should work in.
Exactly. And we should get rid of all the programs within this temple, because without that, we cannot connect to the unified field of each other that is so vast that we can actually change this whole thing in few days. We can change the reality on Earth if we tap into our powers.
And come out the eggshell also. It's to come out the eggshell is a big thing too. And that's one thing that I got from David Icke, and I always like that documentary that he have online. I think it's Oblivious or something. And at the beginning, he's talking about the eggshell state that we're under. And it made me all this, the process of first of all, finding the truth is finding the truth about myself. I always say it. The first truth is to live it. And that's where the big challenge takes place. It's to live it. You can talk about conspiracies all day long, day and night. Are you living your truth? Or you're just going along with the programming, and are you doing things to get out that system a bit, and like be independent, and not only independent mentally, but financially and everything, because you don't want to be at the side of the Babylon system all your life. So this is where my real battle takes place, is to really becoming independent financially from Babylon. And this is where the real battle takes place for a lot of people. It's to live it, to live the truth. And just to do, that's why when I see artists on stage or that are very successful and living their truth and not waiting after a check from Babylon, to me, this is living your truth. To me, this is the ultimate truth. Whether you're going to say, okay, it's this track. I'm not talking about mainstream music and stuff like that. No? I'm talking about my zone, the reggae music, more than anything. No? But yeah, that's it. When I see people, because they talk a lot about, okay, there's a bit of Rastafari involved, I admit. But anyway, if we go over Rastafari and Haile Selassie and all that, but anyway, again, it's your own interpretation of what that means. So I'm not judging anybody on anything. And this is what I think another step that we have to get there is to not judge each other. And we're so much stuck in a judgment of judging each other because of the ego, because of this, of that. And we think we have because who can judge me? Honestly, a man can judge another man. Like, what is that? Or a woman can judge. Like, when I say man, I include woman. You know what I mean? I don't want to be, don't categorize me as a sexist. I'm not, me. But anyway, yeah. So what is that? Anyway, what I was saying? That's what I was saying.
Let's okay, great. Let's go back to also like David Icke and Julian Assange.
That's it. Yeah.
David Icke, Julian Assange, and what's the other guy in Russia?
Snowden.
Snowden.
Yeah.
Snowden, and even the guy in prison. Now it's all coming out that they are all set up also by the system. They're just I went to David Icke one day whole show, and he's like uprooting all the lies and everything, and then at the end he goes right into this space and telling everyone that how this shuttle and that shuttle is taking picture of this Mars and that other, and I knew that right then. I knew he was an agent completely. He has an agent. Yeah. That's why he has given so much room to say what he said without any danger at all. world and say that yes, they are Satans, they are this and they're that, but then underneath his conditioning that they live on a ball, and here is this space. And now all of that is also coming out about Assange also being, and Assange also, his picture was on the Illuminati cards, and the Illuminati cards have said every single thing that has been happening in the world since 1980s, and Assange is on it, Trump is on it, under
Yeah.
the escalator is on it. And it goes on and on. It's weird how deep this is. How deep this is. And
No,
what do you
but
have
it's
to
so
say about that,
evident.
Jimmy? Because,
Yeah.
huh?
But it's so evident also. It's so much in our faces. Like that's what I said in the title. I said it's all in our faces, but we don't see it. Even me, I was there. I'm not judging anybody. I was there. I didn't see the whole picture because it's to see. You can see a certain amount of stuff, like just the little truth you need to comfort your life. But once you start to dig in that rabbit hole, woo! There's stuff you never thought possible. The whole world is inverted, the whole thing, and yeah, that's it. But what do you think, Jimmy, about that?
You know, I think I don't concern myself with whether, you know, people that are famous like David Icke or Julius Roman,
Yes.
Julian Assange have the 100% of the truth, because
You laugh, but look, he just said it, Julius Assange. Why do
yeah,
they call him Julian? Julius
yeah, you
Assange.
got to wonder,
He just said
Julian
it.
calendar or
Yeah,
Julian, you know,
yeah.
there's always something to all that stuff. But to me, it's
Yeah.
okay, because even though they don't have the full picture, and none of us do, nobody does, you know, I haven't met anybody that does. I don't, that's for sure. But I think even though they may be, you know, the controlled opposition, so to speak, they are helping to awaken people. And in that regard, I'm okay with that. Even a guy like Alex Jones, who obviously is very controlled, because there's lots of areas that he will not touch, like Zionism and things like that. But at least information that's making people think beyond the, you know, the normal dumbed down programming is being put out by these people, and I'm okay with that, because it's a stepping stone in the right direction as far as I'm concerned. Even though it's not perfect, it's not the full picture. But again, none of us have that full picture. We're all struggling to find it, because we want to know the truth. We want to understand the nature of all things and the reason why we're in the state and condition that we're in. And so I'm going to, right now, I want to switch gears slightly and talk about cosmology. There's a couple of things I'm looking into right now, and there, you know, there's going to be a lot of people who are either watching us now or will watch this in the future and not really know even about flat Earth. You know, they may just think, well, that's a crazy idea. You people think the Earth is flat, you know? Yeah, well, keep an open mind and research for yourself on that topic. But beyond that, there's a real interesting book, and there's a guy on YouTube who's actually reading the book, you know, like sort of like audiobook style. It's called The World Beyond the Poles, and the author's name is Amedeo Giannini. And I think it was written back in the 1920s. But it's very interesting, speaking of cosmology and that kind of stuff. I haven't gone through all of this yet, but I'm intrigued by what I've heard so far. And what he's saying in this book is that both poles, what we think of as poles, like either far north or far south, even on the flat Earth, are not what we think. And this is real interesting to me. But he contends that, of course, there's a lot of land beyond either direction that we have not been allowed to go. There's a reason why we're not allowed to go north, and we're not allowed to go south, okay? But he's contending that as you go, say if you were either in a plane or some kind of vehicle on the ground, as you proceed along thousands of miles, you begin to gradually move into another dimension.
Attends,
so it's not like you.
Whoa. It's interesting what you're saying there. Go ahead. I'm following.
Yeah. So, and I haven't got the full picture yet, but I want to throw it out to people as something to look at, because, you know, we've all been, you know, looking at flat Earth for quite a while and trying to determine the shape and what maps make sense and don't make sense. Well, he's got it. This is a concept that is intriguing to me. Who knows if it's right or not, but I think that it's something worth investigating. But anyway, so yeah, the basic premise: moving far north or far south, there's lots more land out there. The elite know that. That's why the evil archy has cut us off from exploring. No one is allowed to explore either at the North Pole or the South Pole, or what we call the North and South Pole, because there's way more land there. But as you progress or fly, you actually enter another dimension in either direction. So this would explain why the whole Admiral Byrd's diary of the North Pole, when his plane was flying up there, he kept going and he entered the realm of these other beings. And they gave him a message. They actually landed his plane. Now, a lot of people say, well, he just, on the ball Earth, he went into the North Pole and he just kind of surrounded, and he went into the inner Earth. That's what the story has always been. But let's look at it a little bit differently. What if he was flying along, he kept going, and he entered another dimension where he interacted with these beings who are aware of us, but we're not aware of them. And they had a message for him. And they said, go back and tell your people no more, you know, basically no more nuclear weapons or wars. And whether you believe nuclear weapons are real or not, it's very interesting to me. And I think that's a possibility that's how he ended up interacting with these other beings. And who knows if we'll ever get the chance to actually test this out, because, you know, there's the Antarctica Treaty, which prohibits anybody from going to the south. And
so the Earth would be also much bigger than what they portray it now with their flat Earth map. If you go thousands and thousands of miles into what they so-called call the North Pole, if you go and go and go, that means it's much bigger here than what we think it is. Me, I always said it, there's land mass hidden. What's the purpose of bringing us from a ball and squishing it into a plate, and what, it's the same land mass, same continent, the same water, same everything? No, hey, this is the reason why also. That's a question that I have often is, why are they doing this? Why did they put us on the ball? Why? To steal my mind, I know, to steal my mind, but there's yeah, that's it, to really put us into a box, compartmentalize. But I mean, there's a more evil purpose because it's such a huge lie that, hey, first of all, they're not afraid to lie, because now also it's easier to fool people than tell them they have been fooled. So they prefer to keep laughing in our faces and doing their things than to really come out and tells us that they fooled us all these years. So they just keep along until we all wake up, I guess, or something. I don't know. Will it ever? Like, sometimes I say to myself, it's so deep, the programming, because even before going with Arthur and finding out all that stuff about the programming of that Babylon stuff, I was under the impression that it was possible that a change could happen or something. But now I realize we are so deeply programmed. How can it even happen on a massive scale, that a change? Like, I think that's why I always say the only revolution you can make is a personal revolution, because how can, other than a revolution with arms and weapons, like they do, the evil people, me, it's not the kind of revolution I want. Not with arms and weapons and destruction, but with the gain of consciousness. How can we, you know, it's, anyway, we're so far deep that how can it ever change?
Yes. Well, going back to the North Pole, I have seen a lot of documentation and also thoughts, as Jimmy brought it up, also that yes, they are entire existence of civilizations living there that are very, very advanced. Because if the North Pole is actually a magnetic pole that is connecting all the way up to the North Star, and according to some ancient philosophies, the North Star meaning that it is the center of everything turning around, and that's where the light is coming from. And if such a thing is true, right at the base where that energetic column comes down from the North Star and it goes right into the center of the flat Earth, that's where the civilization of beings or people that we don't know live that are very, very, very
I like that
advanced.
new
The
map,
reason,
Denise. Yeah, that map. Yeah.
yeah, and that map also, the reason they don't want us to go to the North Pole is because if we go there, Jimmy, as you said, there is another realm of consciousness. That's why when Bird came back from the North Pole, of course he just gave all that information to the hand of the Satan itself, because Satan needed to know what's there. And that's
Or
why they don't let anyone to go into the North Pole. And the other thing was that it seems that Hitler also had a lot of trips to the North Pole, and already Hitler's people had met with a lot of these most amazing beings in the North Pole. And
Do you know that recent?
they were, yeah, go ahead.
I saw a mainstream story very recently that they discovered a Nazi base up 1,500 miles from the North Pole. This is like in the last 2 or 3 days on mainstream media. It was actually a feed on Facebook. So yeah, the Nazis were in the North Pole area and Antarctica in that region. We
Yes.
all know that. So they were onto something, you
Well,
know, and they
no,
probably still are. They're probably out there. But now I threw up this. Sorry to interrupt, Mar. I threw up
no, that's good.
this concept here. This came out of a newspaper, I think in Hawaii, you know, I don't know, like 60, 70 years ago or something. This is also an interesting concept because we don't really know, but this is very thought-provoking. If you look, I don't know if you guys can see this okay on the
Yes,
screen?
yeah,
yes, we do.
All right, so if you look at, can you see my mouse pointer?
No,
no.
Oh, you can't, okay.
because
But
the
anyway,
picture
if you
is
look at
it's so small.
okay, if you look at the inner circle, you'll see where it says Sol, which is the sun. And then you see Set, which is the moon. And can you read that? And then Anubis.
Yes, yes.
Isn't that interesting? That's like, maybe some people would call that the black sun. And maybe that is the reason why we have eclipses. Because you can't actually
Yes.
see it, but it can cast a shadow by blocking other light. That's very fascinating to me. So you've got one system where the sun and the moon are rotating above us, and then you've got a bigger system around it where there's another sun. It's called Bol, B-O-L. And if I don't know if you can see that, so the little yellow dot in the outer circle.
Yes.
And then you've got
Yes.
Ya and Ya, which would again be another moon and another either black sun or black moon, whatever you want to call it. Same concept over the outer ring, where these suns, you know, rotate above whatever this plane is. Now, this would explain something else too, if this is true, why people see two suns occasionally. Where if our sun is in proximity with this other sun that's very, you know, and it is in its northernmost or innermost rotation, you could possibly see two suns in that way. That might explain why that happens. Anyway, we don't know. You know, we're all just guessing, and this is all conjecture. You know, I'm not claiming to know anything about any of this, but I want to throw it out there because it's very thought-provoking. And at the very least,
can I say something?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Can I say something about this? Because it's right there. Well, this shows that they are four suns, okay? So it's very, very interesting. If the Earth is really, really huge, actually, the flat Earth is really huge. That means there's a huge distance between the North Pole to the South Pole, which is the entire ice wall around the Earth. And then the ice wall has openings. I wish I could see the picture still. And the ice wall has openings to more land beyond it. But then the Earth itself, the flat Earth, is so huge that actually what we see is not the same sun. It's different suns that go around. Yet the interesting thing is that it's only the moon that has the black moon, meaning that probably technologically that's what they put around the moon as the symbol of feminine or whatever to darken it. It's like that's an agenda, satanic agenda, to darken the moon. And they still can't darken it all the way, but they have achieved a lot of darkness on it. Gosh,
Yeah,
that
makes
just came
sense.
to me.
Yeah, I think
Gosh, that just came to me.
I think that's very
That's
possible. Again, for people who are watching this and never seen anything like this is just, conjecture on our part. We don't know the answers, but it does make sense to see this as a technology and to see that this is possible. Now, this is not a depiction of what I was talking about with that book, which I mentioned earlier, the worlds beyond the poles, because that's different, because this actually shows like a North Pole in the middle in this diagram. But what they're talking about, or the guy was talking about that wrote that book, World Beyond the Poles, is that there's some kind of a infinite plane in both directions, not just one, not just towards the south, but in both directions. So again, we're exploring. We're just exploring these concepts.
That's right. And maybe the infinite plane that is in the North Pole that we saw is the one that goes all the way up to the North Star. I mean, that's infinite. How do we know how far that is?
That's true. That's possible too.
Yeah.
And now he showed, there's a diagram that I saw from the book where it shows a flat plane and then it goes up like this. In both, if you go to the south or the north, eventually it starts going up like this, and that's where you go into these other dimensions. So it's really interesting and fascinating.
That's a part of the hollow earth theory that I don't accept, because you see, if water cannot stay this way, it also cannot stay this way. It just cannot. I mean, the hollow earth says that if it goes like that and then it goes up on the sides, it doesn't make sense. The water cannot go on its sides unless we are in the centrifuge on a constant basis, and then we cannot even exist within that pressure.
But what if this is millions of miles across, and what if as it curves there isn't water anymore, there isn't even land anymore as we know it? You know what I'm saying? What if the world is not solid in the way that it is right now? It's another dimension. It's another realm of existence.
This is a bit what Don Tepa was telling me in my last hangout. He said we live on a flat terrain, but he said on the edge there must be something, some kind of dome or other dimension or something. That's what I thought he was saying, something like that. Without saying dimension, that's what I think he was saying, something like that.
You see, we can say all of those things, but again, we have to go with our senses and what we see.
But
I mean, unless they are absolutely making the ice wall unless they are just like, that's also an illusion and there is no ice wall, which cannot be. I mean, at every and also, yes, you're right, at every direction. Have we gone to every direction on this flat earth to see we hit the ice wall? We cannot, obviously. They only take us to the ice wall, which is called the southern ice wall. Yet we still have pictures of that ice wall, and on top of the ice wall it keeps going. It's a flat ice that keeps going, right? So yeah, maybe beyond that there is something of another realm, yet within this realm still we have the ice wall that we have to think about, right?
Yeah, and I've never met, I'm willing to entertain the idea of entities and stuff like that, but I've never really known anybody that I encountered close encountered the third kind. Like, I never seen any. I think the extraterrestrial is us because we are so far out of nature that we are the alien here. We are the until we find back our true path or true nature. We're pretty much the alien here and the invaders. So we must wake up.
I tell you, a way that you can encounter aliens, not aliens, but these entities, the best way to encounter or see entities is by taking the most messed up ayahuasca. I took ayahuasca for 1 year, once a month, and it was the hardest encounter with these entities from the darkest places. I don't know, but that's one way to feel them.
So after your experience of a year under ayahuasca, would you suggest it to anybody to try it? Just to
I'm too sensitive, and for me it was like poison. But there are some people that do it, and all these other realms, and they meet all these entities, and then they come back to the light, and that becomes their lifestyle. For me, for as sensitive that I am, I would never suggest such a thing.
Okay, but for why did you go along 1 year on ayahuasca after the first trip? I would have had a bad trip. I would have stopped. Like, why? What kept you going to do it every month? Because you were convinced you could see and feel something at one point, or at one point you just gave up? Or?
I think I was in the, well, first of all, I'm a warrior, so I want to know why this is happening to me. I was wondering why all these entities attack me and not other people. And they were attacking me, and the other people were just like in their zone. And but whatever, I wanted to know what it is, and they were saying that the more entities, don't react to the entities and just bring them to the light. So I was trying to do that, but then what I got after all these months was that, look, going into the realm of the dark and the entity and trying to turn it into the light is not the way. You can do that within yourself. You don't need this harsh chemical in your body to do that.
Okay. So you came to an introspection at one point and you said, I can create my own salvation. I don't need no poison. That's it. So guys, that was very... I don't know if you want to add something to...
I was just going to show the cover of the book that I was talking about, just so people can have a, if they can, they can stop the video and get the information off of it. I'm intrigued by it. I haven't been through very much of it yet, but I think it's thought-provoking. And just in case anybody's curious.
It's food for thought. Food for thought.
Food for thought. So I'm just throwing it up there so people can see it.
Do you see a $sign right in the center? I see a $sign.
I see something wrapping around this.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I'm not saying that this is the be-all, end-all of answers. It's just something to investigate. That's all.
Exactly.
No, that's awesome. And I think there are also some videos on that too. I think I've seen them. Let's go see them again. I just wanted to say one more thing. A very awesome person, Mark, sent something during this video and said, loving the show today, and F, it says, F guy that said, go back to your country. This country is more beautiful by having you in it, Mar. Thank you, Yannick and Jimmy, for always doing a great show. Have a wonderful Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Perfect. Thank you. Feels warm. My heart feels warm.
So,
Yeah, you're all such a
thank
wonderful people. Stay away from Babylon evil and rise and shine. That's my message. Stay away from those evil people
Thank-
and those evil agenda. And,
Yeah.
that's it. We're all wonderful. Like I said, we all have goodness inside, but that goodness give us the permission to manifest the greatness. So manifest your greatness. It's up to you. We're up.
Love you all. Love you.
Love
Thank
Love
you
you
you.
all.